Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of Randomania. We have another exciting new player race for you with a twist. This time, we're letting vets participate. With me tonight in the booth, I have Wolt here, and tracking for us is going to be Mr. Versetti.
Howdy, howdy, everyone. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Obviously, we're still featuring newer players because that's the whole point of this thing. But there are vets racing in it, so they'll be able to size themselves up against them.
That's right, and we've got some big names in here. Split Punched, Edgeworth, Lord Fizzlebeef, Tyrannex, Shylazia, returning Duckling Tarnin, and Black Knight, who was in the spring tournament, are all racing offline, as well as Lyra SRL.
Yeah, and Broadster even just jumped in, so this is actually going to be a pretty big race. I think we got 13 entrants.
Yes, indeed. This is going to be very exciting. We will try and keep you up to date with off-stream progress when we see new leaders appear. But we are going to keep our attention here on the screen, and we've got a little bit of madness tonight. So we're basing these flags off of the League Stage 1 flags, but the twist is all the Fetch Quest turn-ins have been randomized without being incentivized. So the main key items are still going to come from the main people, like the king and the princess and the vendor item. But when you turn in that crystal, you are not going to get the herb.
Well, you could get the herb, but you're probably not.
True.
But yeah, now this is going to be very interesting because that's going to slow these down. Folks who are in the Discord know that these League Stage 1 flags are fast. And this is going to down-tempo that a little bit, having to hunt around for, progression. Because that key, that's still going to be something you need, but it ain't ending up in an incentive spot.
Actually, it is. Key is going to be in one of the main incentive spots.
Are you sure on that?
I have run some test flags today, some test seeds, to make sure I knew what was going on. So we have 9 incentivized locations and 9 incentive items. So the items that we're going to see at King, Princess, Bicky, Sages, Sarda, Robot, Vendor, Ordeals, or Canaria Locked are going to be one of the 9 following items. It will be the loot, the key, the rod, the canoe, the floater, the cube, the oxyale, the chime, or the tail. Now, they might need to find the ship and the canal and or the ruby in order to get to one of those incentive locations. But those 9 items are going to be at those 9 locations.
Thank you, Shadow Walker, for making me look bad, but also for being informative.
I'm doing my best. We actually had a big discussion of the Discord leading up to this race, like, do we actually know what we're getting into? And being on commentary tonight, I wanted to make sure that I was in the know.
And I was too busy napping to get in the know, so there's that. Anyway, but yeah, because these are the league, similar to the league flags, we're playing this out like a league race in terms of, while the seed does not force you to take a fighter, a red mage, and a black mage, you are taking a fighter, a red mage, and a black mage, since those are the 3 forced classes for the league. The 4th class is being left up to player's choice because Edgeworth has not yet actually decided, or at least announced, which class he's going to force for Stage 1 of the league.
And Artie Platypus asking, is there a new league season? Yes, the new league season has been announced. October 1st will be the start of Final Fantasy Randomizer League Season 2. There are links in the Discord, and we should get a link for that here. Here we go. Artie Platypus, this is for you, coming into the chat right now. That is a link to our new League Season 2, with including stage details of what coming flags we'll see, as well as a sign-up sheet, if anybody wants to join in on the fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. If you haven't signed up yet, go check it out. I know that there are people still looking for teammates. That's
right. New to the Final Fantasy Randomizer League, there are going to be teams. Now, this is not like the co-op that you've seen in some of the exhibition that we've done. Co-op isn't quite ready for that. Instead, teams of 4 can band together to try and earn points to compete with other teams. Teams are scored on a separate bracket from individuals, and people do not have to be in teams if they do not want to. You're free to compete as an individual or on the individual and team levels.
But if you compete on a team, in the head-to-head rounds of the league, you will be paired up against someone on another team who is considered to be roughly your equal, or at least relative to the rest of their team. So if you want to actually race someone who you have a shot against one-on-one, you want to be on a team. Also, you get to design a flag and taunt everyone else, and like, it's just good old-fashioned fun. And let's just face it, this is Final Fantasy Randomizer. If there's anything we enjoy more than Final Fantasy 1, it's petty factionalism.
That's right. There are a lot of teams going about. We've got Team Tyro versus Team Stake. We've got Team Night Swords. You name it. We love to banter about all manner of things. So definitely a lot of fun to be had there.
All right, and we have a bunch of people from that Zelda 1 randomizer race that are just showing up. So glad y'all could join us. You're about to get to see some of our newer players strut their stuff in a preview-ish of what we're going to be seeing here in a little bit. We are just waiting for one more runner to get things squared away, and then we should be good to go.
Yep. So we're just moments out from starting. So far, with what we do see on screen, we know we're going to have a little bit of a divergence on the party selection. Like we mentioned before, Fighter, Red Mage, and Black Mage are the 3 forces that have been announced for Stage 1 of the League. And our 4 runners on screen have given us a look at 4 different potential strategies. GDD in the upper left, Girl Drink Drunk 1 is taking a White Mage. Neon Gray in the upper right is taking a second Red Mage. St. Von Jester in the lower left is taking a Thief. And Wappy 103 in the bottom right is taking a Black Belt. So we have a lot of class representation here.
Yeah, I think we actually have every class somewhere on the screen. So that's actually kind of rare. But
I'm interested in seeing what our runners have in mind for their different strategies.
Yeah,
that I've been toying around with in these Stage 1 flags is the idea of only taking 3 characters.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-man strat is definitely something that we're going to see a lot of in this tournament, I imagine. We do have quite a few runners who prefer it, and even a few runners who prefer the 2-man strategy. And since Fighter and Red Mage are on the table for this first round, that's definitely something we might see some people attempt. But as for tonight, it is an interesting mix. Usually the White Mage play is a very conservative plan. It's making sure you have that safety net at least mostly available. Thief, to a certain extent, I find to be a safer strategy just because you can bail out of a lot more fights and conserve your resources at the cost of needing to take time to, get some XP the old-fashioned way of grinding. Double Red Mage is a gamble, because if Red Mages wind up getting the short end of the stick on magic, you're in trouble. But if they wind up doing good for magic, then congratulations, you're now going to blast your way through the game. And Black Belt is an interesting choice. It's kind of, I guess, hedging your bets that if you can't find something to make your fighter effective, you can fall back on just grinding that Black Belt up in a hurry.
Yeah, 2 things that I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of like about the Black Belt in these flag sets is, number 1, with as fast as these seeds have shown the potential to go, you're going to be skipping a lot of chests. You're not going to be doing deep dives. So you might not see those late game fighter armor and weapons that you really want to see. Things like the Dragon Armor, the Aegis Shield, the Mazza, the Vorpal. So taking that Black Belt is going to offer you somebody that is guaranteed to be useful regardless of what equipment you find. The other nice thing about Black Belt is Black Belt really starts to shine in mid to upper 20s and later, And in these flag sets, you're going to see that.
Yeah, and we are off. So let's find out if that double red mage is going to pay off.
Level 1 Heal 3 is a great resource for keeping your party alive, and Ice 3 is great for sweeping parties.
Yeah, and with Heal 3 being in a red mage slot, and really the only thing of value in white magic in that red mage slot, that is a very strong level 1 for the red mages.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Neon Gray is definitely going to be very happy.
Yeah, they may have made a good call, at least out the gate. So they're going to go ahead and do a little bit of gearing up while everyone else is making a beeline for Temple of Fiends as quickly as the encounter rate will let them.
Yeah, so St. Von Jester giving us our first look at Temple of Fiends. In these flag sets, getting to the Temple of Fiends fast is very important. Being able to talk to both the King and Sarah is going to give you 2 key items. Not only is that going to give you progression, but we have progressive EXP and gold on. So what that means is every key item that we find is going to be an additional 5% gold and EXP that our party members earn.
Question in chat, is the speed increased? You bet your bottom dollar it is. Our developers have put in a lot of effort to make sure that everything can go faster, and we usually keep those hacks on. We do see an early white shirt. That's going to be convenient for GDD if the tail pops up. And just convenient for everyone in general for that Invis 2 cast.
Yeah, white shirt is one of those items that you definitely want to see, and in these kind of flag sets, you're not often going to see it. Like I said, skipping a lot of chests.
Oh crap! Did wolves have crack?
Uh-oh, that's not good news. You're going to see wolves a lot in the early game, so that's going to really slow our runners down. Girl Drink Drunk does manage to get to Garland, though, and is going to give us our first look, potentially, at what the King and Princess hold in store.
Yeah,
Mage takes a big hit from Garland, but gets a nice 2 off.
Yeah, we have a bat diving to try and stop the Light Warriors from getting to the Princess, and hey, there's that tail, and a canoe.
Right. King has the canoe for us, and the Princess has the tail. Well, the canoe's great. That's going to give us access to Crescent Lake, which is another guaranteed free item. And with the free bridge in this flag set, we're going to be able to talk to the pirates. So I think we're going to see a lot of our runners go over to Provoca, get the pirates out of the way, get their free key item, check level 2 spells, and probably head down to Provoca, or Crescent Lake.
Yeah. And I imagine we'll probably see a split here between those who go ahead and circle down and those who go ahead and run over to Provoca. Just because I think some people are more comfortable with the swinging south opening.
Potentially. The other nice thing is if you do try and go the Provoca route into Crescent Lake, that could help us avoid some of those wolves with crack. There's a lot of land in between, say, the Dwarf Cave and Elfland, and a lot of potential to see those wolves.
Yeah, but I think Neon's the only one who actually saw the crack out of those wolves. Everyone else kind of swept them away quickly.
Fair enough.
But we'll see. I may be just completely mistaken on how that's going to shake out.
Wappy's getting his Garland fight out of the way.
Yeah, Wappy, I think, had a little bit of difficulty out the gate. I didn't quite see what happened, but we have a comment in the SRL chat out of him going, well, I messed up already. He didn't quit or anything, but he is unhappy with some of the choices he has made. But yeah, just to kind of, while we have a moment to think, bring it back to the question in chat earlier. Walk speed has been increased. The amount of frames between actions in combat have been reduced. Like, a lot of work has gone into optimizing every frame of animation in the randomizer with the speed hacks on. So, if it seems like this is faster than Final Fantasy should be, that's because it is.
That's right. If you see any of our players select swap their party member locations, that is significantly faster.
Yeah, I think casting animations have also gotten the speed up treatment. But Wappy is looking like he's going to be the first one to provoke him.
Interesting. So Wappy's fighter and red mage have taken a bit of a dirt nap. I'm curious to see if that's intentional or if he's going to bring those back.
Well, we'll find out. He is in a good position to get them back on their feet if that's the route he's taking, but with that Ice 3 early on and that black belt, he may be thinking, well, I can survive this early game pretty well. But he is not.
Okay. Well, we get the key from Biggie. That's going to let us open that chest in Corneria, so we still have 2 more guaranteed incentive locations to check.
Actually, I guess I was half right. Sorry to interrupt. Wappy brought the red mage back up, but did not revive the fighter.
Okay. So potentially some 3-man strats. I like this. Funneling EXP into 3 party members. Oh, and life is available on the red mage. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and for everyone who's keeping their fighter up, that's going to be available to a knight as well. And since we do have that tail, that's in play.
Yeah, as soon as we find that floater, we could be seeing some early class changes.
Yeah. And just for the record, since we do have some potential new viewers to the Final Fantasy Randomizer, thanks to that host from Randomania 2, if there are any questions about the game in general, feel free to drop them into chat. You know, there's a lot of time in here where we can just talk about the game.
Okay, so we found pro rings available in the armor. That's definitely something you want to take a note of. Pro rings providing the best armor of a glove slot item in the game, as well as death resist.
Yeah.
It's a very important piece of gear.
And one thing I think we overlooked, actually, or didn't get a chance to bring up, we also do have warp available at level 2. So that's good for literally everybody. Although Ice Cave is not incentivized, so that warp is not nearly as valuable as it normally would be.
True, but we will still see the pillar maze and ordeals. And warp can definitely save you a lot of time if you take the wrong path.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we are seeing some route divergent. SVJ is going to go ahead and make a trip down to Crescent Lake, find out what the old men have. We have Wappy and GDD checking the Treasury in Corneria, which is incentivized, and that is a floater.
That's big. That's a big play for Wappy and GDD. They're off to a very good early start. Finding that early floater, now they're definitely going to head over to Crescent Lake, pick up the Sage item, and get their airship, and be off to a very quick start.
Yeah, it looks like we have a pretty friendly encounter table as far as manipulation and running goes. Because SVJ is already in Crescent Lake.
That's right, and Will Cleosis pointing us at our off-stream runner, Shylacia, is already in the air. Made a very quick play for that key, made a very quick play for the floater, made it all the way down to Ryokan Desert, and is already flying.
Yeah, so for those of you who arrived a little bit late, unlike our normal new player races that we do on Sundays, this time the new players have voted to allow the veterans to run alongside them. And it looks like Wappy mentioned before the race that he was going to be on call, and it looks like that call came, so he is going to be forced to forfeit because he has to go be an adult. Boo. But, I mean...
sometimes life happens, and whether you race Final Fantasy or not, that doesn't change.
Yeah, but it is one of those things. Wappy is one of our stronger runners, and we're definitely going to see some stuff out of him come the league.
Yeah, absolutely. This was supposed to be Wappy's kind of celebratory graduating for the Duck Pond race. Unfortunate that he's not going to be able to stick around and see it through. Girl Drink Drunk has made their way over to Dwarf Cave and has picked up the Opal armor in the chest, as well as opal helmet and defense sword.
That is going to be very strong. So, since the 3 runners we still have moving on stream at the moment, that very well might change. Don't have a black belt handy. As soon as they get into the air, they're going to be in the air. Black belt's about the only reason you wouldn't go ahead and spin that tail once you have your airship. And they've got a lot of decent gear for a party once the class change comes through.
Yeah, absolutely. That gear is really going to accelerate. I'm not sure if Girl Drink Drunk realizes that silver armor could be swapped over to the Red Mage. Red Mage is able to equip that. Or is that only after promotion?
No, that's before promotion. It's one of those things that's just like, I generally forget it. Also, I never find silver armor in a convenient location. SVJ, meanwhile, is continuing that slow journey back around to Corneria. He is going to be making a volcano dive.
It's an interesting play for sure. It could get him a lot of levels and potentially some nice items, but unfortunately, it's not going to give him progression.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could still give key items. Key items will still give a 5% XP boost per. And, you know, this could work out in his favor. It turns out that, like, the bottle and, well, the bottle and the crystal and the herb all got shuffled in here.
That's right. While those fetch quest items that you turn in are not going to give the same items they normally do, they do still count as key items. Absolutely right.
Yeah, so that is still a possibility to kind of keep SVJ in this, but Neon, meanwhile, did make the decision to go back to the Corneria Treasury and will be rewarded with that floater. So I imagine we'll see both them and Girl Drink Drunk here in the air in the next couple of minutes.
We got our first look at Black Level 3, which has Nuke and Brack. Those are definitely some staple spells that you'll see for Black Magic, used very, very frequently.
Yeah, and that is going to be nice for both SVJ and Neon Gray, just because they're going to get that class change and, you know, respectively have a ninja and a red wizard to throw those out with. And Life 2, oh wow.
Life 2 limited to White Mage, though, so Girl Drink Drunk with a little bit of the safety advantage having that White Mage. Oh, and we see Chime is our vendor item. This is Shylazia coming into view now.
Alright, so that's going to be... Yeah, okay, I see that Shy's already gone to the trouble of class changing. It looks like Shy went the same approach SVJ did, going ahead and grabbing that ninja. With a party full of wills. And that's what we're talking about on SVJ's side. Bottle and Volcano.
Yep, definitely going to be very happy for the extra 5% EXP and money. So that's a good pickup. These Argoyles are really giving him the business, though. Argoyles with Frost in large packs are bad news this early. I'm not sure that I would stick around seeing them this frequently.
Yeah. Neon, meanwhile, making a trip back to Provoke. I think they're thinking of maybe... No, they're heading... Okay, I see what they're doing. They're avoiding those crack wolves by taking the river route down to the Circle of Sages and to pick up their floater.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So... did SVJ take a wipe to something? I was looking up for a second, and suddenly he is back in the treasury.
Yeah, he's had to reset several times due to those Argoyles with Frost. They're, like I said, they're really giving him the business.
Yeah, all right.
Place I'd want to stick around.
So meanwhile, we've got, Shylazia coming in on the bottom, and he is going to be making a trek over to the Castle of Ordeals to pick up the other incentivized chest.
Yep. So, let's see, we found the canoe, the tail, key, chime, floater. So it seems pretty likely that it's going to give him. Actually, it's guaranteed that it's going to give him some kind of dungeon progression.
Yeah, we do have the rod as well. That came out of the confused old men.
Oh, the sages gave the rod. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the 3 items loose are then the cube, the oxyale, and the chime.
Have we seen loot
Sarda,
yet?
the robot, and...
No, chime was vendor item.
Oh, right,
so
chime was vendor item.
Yeah, loot is the other loose item.
Yes, you're right. Loot, oxyale, cube. I missed an item.
No, you got them all. We got the tail off of Sarah. We got the canoe off the king. Pika gave us the key. The sages give us the rod. Chime comes off of the vendor. Sarda gives us something. And then we have loot, oxyale, and cube.
Yeah, okay. Right. So Sarda, the robot, and Ordeals are still at large. Okay.
And presumably, next time Shy opens his item menu, we'll be able to see what Sarda gave him. In the meantime, either that or we'll just see what Sarda gives once GDD and Neon pick up their floaters here in a minute. Or their airships here in a minute.
So it looks like Shylazia has just about finished up the pillar maze. I think he's on his way to the stairs now.
Now he's not got a lot of locations left. There we go. Yeah, we do not have a timer. We are at about the 17-minute mark. And yeah, our restreamer Mono will be fixing that here in a sec. So, I forgot that we also do have encounter tile shuffle on. So, there are great sharks guarding the treasure trove here in Ordeals.
That's right. That's something that we forgot to mention. For this league, we will be featuring a new feature, the trap tile shuffle, which in this case is going to take those trap tiles that we know and love and turn them into any possible encounter. And some of them are even the B-side encounters, which you don't always see in the game normally. So we could see, for instance, a trap with 3 to 6 slimes.
And it does look like Sarda was the keeper of the cube. As Girl Drink Drunk goes ahead and picks that off of him. So I believe that leaves loot and Oxyale at large.
That's right.
And
we're about
Shy...
to find out what Ordeals has.
Yeah, I was about to say, Shy is about to tell us which one the robot has by process of elimination.
Opal Bracelet here in Ordeals, another big pickup. The Oxyale from Ordeals is going to give him the last of the dungeon progression items he needs, and tells us that the robot will have the loot.
Which technically you could argue is a dungeon progression item. It's very hard to go fight Chaos without the loot.
That's true. Very true.
And apparently there was also a Vorpal pickup somewhere in the mix. As we can see by Will Cleosis excitedly yelling in chat about some sword.
The shame changer, Future Fantasy says. Girl Drink Drunk picking up their class change as well, joining Shylazia in the promoted land.
And our tracker flashing the Vorpal sword.
Praxia asking about what the fairy is going to provide. The fairy, all of the fetch quest turn-in items have been randomized. They are not incentivized, but they are randomized. So that bottle releasing the fairy could give us the Mazimune. It could give us a wooden stick. We won't know unless our runners turn those items in.
Yeah, and there are a lot of fetch quests I can see runners bothering to turn in, especially with that early key. Because the only two I could potentially really see would be like the dwarves if you were just going to go ahead and dip Dwarf Cave, just to see if you could pick up some extra gear. Maybe Matoya if you happen to be passing that way with the crystal.
Yeah, I imagine that if our runners are already in the area, they will turn in items if they have found them. For instance, SVJ finding the bottle, I imagine when he goes to Gaia, he will probably talk to the fairy just to see what the fairy gives.
I don't even know if he'll bother with that. That's a long walk for potentially like a heal potion or two gold. That's
true. It's true.
Let's see, our tracker, Mr. Rossetti, pointing out that the Cat Claw is available in Melmond. Cat Claw, one of those weapons that you like to keep track of where you can buy it, just because it's not the worst weapon to have in the end game. It's on par with the Ice Sword, and you can take the Ice Sword to the end game if you have to. You don't want to, but you can. So in the event that just your choices are suck it up, strap a Cat Claw onto your fighter, and just buff your way to victory, or, take a cat, or, go digging, you might take a gamble on the Cat Claw.
It's very true. I recently played a seed where I managed to get to Chaos and I was down to 2 Black Wizards. Let me tell you what, I would have killed to have a Cat Claw right about then. Saber and Temper Strats are just not the same with a Mage Staff.
Ouch.
So Girl Drink Drunk taking a dip into Ordeals. SVJ is back into Volcano. Maybe not.
Yeah, SVJ, I think, SVJ left and I think took a wipe without saving. And so start back at the Volcano. Shy, as Chad is pointing out, is opting to just go ahead and commit to doing the Northern Dungeon since he does have access to all of that already. I believe.
I think this makes a lot of sense. He did pick up the Oxyl inside Ordeals, so he'll be able to do Sea Shrine while he's here in Waterfall. It makes a lot of sense to stop off at Waterfall first to get that extra 5% EXP and gold from the robot item, which we believe will be the loot.
Yeah, we have a question in chat if there are any drawbacks to early promotion. And as Fuchsia Fantasy pointed out, the only reason you wouldn't want to promote early is because if you have a black belt. Black belts have a strange M defense progression. M defense being a stat that is normally silently tracked by the game, but the randomizer actually changes around the status screen to show you your M defense. Black belts gain 4 M defense, whereas if you promote them, they only gain 1 M defense. And M defense is used for basically anything having to do with abilities or spells used against your party. So if you promote a black belt, they lose out on a lot of potential M defense if you promote them too early. So it's mostly a question of if you value having that black belt that might not necessarily even need a ribbon, if you promote them late enough, or going ahead and getting that access to improved equipment and spell casting on the rest of your characters.
Yeah, that's right. And M Defense also, I found out recently, even protects against status touch. So an enemy that has Stone Touch or Death Touch, high enough MDef can prevent that status. Wokleos is pointing out that Girl Drink Drunk has also located their Vorpal Sword.
Yeah, everyone's going to at least find that Vorpal Sword just because they're all going to need to go to Ordeals, and there's no reason not to check those chests even if you're in Go mode. You're literally right there.
Yeah, and with the way things are shaping up, I would expect our runners to go to Ordeals before really diving into the Fiend dungeons.
Very true, and it looks like Shy does now have all of his progression items. So, at this stage, Shy can basically do whatever he wants. He can go to any dungeon and expect to be able to finish it, and what he wants to do is go deal with Earth Cave.
I'm a little bit surprised that Shylazia didn't hit up Sea Shrine while they were already in the area. I guess maybe without having talked to Sarda, they want to get the 5% EXP in gold. But it surprises me.
I mean, I can't see what level he's at, but I imagine he might not even be double digits yet. So it may just be a simple matter of Sea Shrine can have some very nasty fights. Very easily. So if you don't feel high enough, like you're in a good enough position yet to dive it, it's a very understandable move.
Fair enough. And St. Von Jester finally makes the play to go over to Castle Corneria and locates that floater. So he's finally going to join the rest of our runners in the air.
Yeah, definitely has lost a good bit of time from that decision, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Like we said, he does get a little more XP and gold out of fights than anyone else will. Just because he did pick up that bottle. And so that it's not necessarily going to catch him up super fast, but it's going to put him in a good position. Why is he back in the volcano area? Is he going to pick up that? Okay.
I think it's got to be that he's on his way.
Okay. I got worried there because he did have that accident earlier on. Frost Dragons in the, whatchamacallit, Earth slot here on Earth 2.
Oh, okay. And Girl Drink Drunk is managed to find a Frost Gator Red Carib fight up in the Northern Rivers. That's one of those fights that you usually want to take for EXP. In this case, it's unrunnable, but those Frost Gators are worth a very healthy amount of EXP for your party.
Yeah, but they can also be exceedingly rude. All right, SVJ's in the air.
Hooray! Yeah, although with two charges of nuke, I don't think our runners are going to have that many problems encountering normal enemies, whether it be in the overworld or in dungeons. Short of some nasty skills or spells, of course.
And I missed that the Frost Dragon encounter is in fact unrunnable. So that might come into play when we get to Ordeals. Or not Ordeals, Topher.
Yeah, unrunnable Frost Dragons is really something you don't want to... that'll really slow your progress down and burn up some resources from your party when you're trying to do that endgame dive.
Yeah, now, you kind of do hope that, like, by the time you get to that point, you can just, bust through them with decent weapons, but the katana's about the only decent weapon we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Vorpal is probably the best weapon we've seen for the knight so far, short of, say, the defense sword. So you have two possible attackers, really, at this point. Well, I guess actually the red mage could also use Vorpal or defense, so you could get by with 3 physical attackers right now.
Yeah, nah, I was trying to make a joke at Team Vorpal's expense there, but yeah. Now, you got a Vorpal sword, you have a katana, you have the defense sword, you've got adequate melee for the end game. I still would want to find, an Excalibur or a Sun Sword, personally.
And a pro ring for Shylazia and Earth Cave. The rich keep getting richer. Oh, looks like those Mudgulls on Girl Drink Drunk's side just survived a nuke. All 3 of them did. Second one takes them down, though.
Yep. And it looks like Girl Drink Drunk is probably going to be our second runner to have everything required for progression.
Shylazia stops off the room before the vampire. Not what he was hoping to find.
Anyway, everyone say hi to the vampire.
That vampire's looking awfully pale these days.
And everyone say bye to the vampire. So yeah. Vampire goes down very quickly to Shylazia. like I said, I imagine this is a lot of the reason Shy went ahead and did Earth Cave is there's nothing down here that really poses a threat to him. And it's a good way to pick up a couple extra levels and potentially get some more gear suitable for dealing with the rest of the game.
It's fair. I'll be curious to see if Girl Drink Drunk follows suit and decides to go to an easier dungeon, or if he decides to stop off at Sea Shrine while he's here.
With that White Mage in hand, I imagine GDD might feel more comfortable going for some of the higher level dungeons.
I think another option that maybe we haven't talked about, Girl Drink Drunk could use the opportunity if they feel like they don't have the levels to do the dungeon in one dive, could opt to go to Mermaids, check a couple extra chests while taking fights on the way for experience, get some extra levels, get some extra spell charges, and then try and dive Krakenside.
See, I feel like if you were going to try something like that, you'd almost be better off just going ahead, going down, trying your hand at Kraken. If you get down there, great. If you run into trouble, you can get out.
Temperate level 7, that's a bit unfortunate. It's a spell you'd like to see lower level so you have much more charges available for it.
Well, not just level 7, but level 7 in on-rack, so your red wizard can't even learn it.
Right.
But, at least you had to have that black mage. But personally, with the situation, I almost would feel more comfortable, feel better about, say, diving Mirage for that, trying to find some treasure and pick up XP.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially with warp charges available. Those first 2 levels have quite a few chests, and warping back out, you're not going to spend a lot of time going back down to get to the 3rd floor anyway.
Yeah, and beyond that, warp also does make digging out a little bit of Sky Castle more viable. That being said, GDD is definitely going to be picking up some experience here in Sea Shrine with these unrunnable gray sharks.
And Shylazia finding the Earth 4 in the bottom chests.
Yeah, and an Aegis shield, which is convenient because I do not believe anyone has seen hide nor hair of a ribbon yet.
Yeah, that's one potential problem with this flag set is you are not going to see a ribbon every time, and sometimes you have to make a very tough decision of whether or not to try and dive Topher without it. Now, fortunately, this time around, our runners have wall available at level 2, and we'll have some charges available at that. But that can definitely cause some big problems.
Yeah, you never really want to lean on wall just because it takes time to deploy, and that's time that, enemies can bust out anything.
Absolutely right. And Shylazia is our first runner on screen to light their orb.
Mm-hmm. That is a Lich down. Happened so fast that we didn't even have time to comment on it. That being said, and it looks like Shy may just be doing this in traditional order, going through the themes. But one advantage, though, that GDD and Neon are going to have if ribbons are hard to come by is they have 3 characters who can drop those walls.
You know what? I think I might understand what Shylazia is trying to do. Maybe by trying to do the dungeons in kind of the low EXP to high EXP order, maybe looking for some of those key items to be loose in chests to reward more EXP for doing those later dungeons.
I think you are absolutely right. That actually would make a lot of sense. That's got to be what he's thinking is get as much XP as he can out of those trips to water and air. And he does have the intel from that Earth Shrine, from that Earth Cave dive, to know that great sharks are unrunnable.
Off screen, it looks like Tyrnex has managed to find himself a Phantom in the Sharknado tile. It is runnable, but that's definitely not an encounter you want to see.
No, it isn't. That You know, there's some with the tile shuffle on. There's some encounters that's just like, all right, I'm gonna farm this, and there are encounters like that where it's just like, nope, that chest is gonna remain a mystery.
Fires today replaced by gargoyles, so also a trap tile we aren't going to be looking to grind on.
But for very different reasons. Although sometimes gargoyles can be really nasty.
True, but in both the gargoyle and the phantom case, neither one of them gives you much by way of EXP or gold. That's one of the big problems with the phantom is, despite it being a very strong enemy and doing lots of damage to your party, you get no reward for killing it.
You get the satisfaction of a job well done. Oh, hey, mages are unrunnable.
Now, mages, on the other hand, are a potential good source of EXP. They're not great, but they certainly can provide a lot. We'll see with the bonus that Shylesi has accumulated what kind of EXP we're looking at.
That also could make for interesting times in a couple of locations down the line. Meanwhile, though, GDD is giving us our first look at what Kraken 1 has in store.
Wisely investing some time to use that white shirt for some extra defense. Throwing out the Brack strats. I love it.
Hey, you got to bracken that Kraken.
Oh, this is very interesting. So, Girl Drink Drunk has opted to put the white shirt on the Black Wizard in order to be able to stack 2 Invis to cast per round. Smart play.
Yeah, now it's definitely one of those plays that I always think about making and then don't because I'd rather have that defense on my white mage, and there's other things I am like, well, I could be doing, but miss menu there. But hey, there is a ribbon in the armory, and I think everyone else who's been to Volcano might have missed that.
Oh, and the black shirt for Shylesi. That's going to provide some much-needed time resist for that Black Wizard.
And yeah, so that is one ribbon we found so far, and I think Shy might have missed that too.
So the Argoyles hiding behind their frost skill is damage poison, as Neon Gray loses all of his light warriors to a pack of 4 Argoyles.
Yeah, they're going to need to go back in. They're going back in for that ribbon. That is the only ribbon we have seen so far, and though they don't know that's the only ribbon we've seen so far, they're going back for that ribbon.
Oh, absolutely. That is way too important to miss.
Like, they might get that ribbon and then... Sorry, they might get that ribbon and then immediately get out of here, but they're getting that ribbon out of here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of item that you find it, and it is worth taking the time to warp out, use a house, and save your progress. Ribbons are huge. And Shylesi giving us a very quick look at Carrie, and I didn't catch much, but there she goes.
I think I saw Fast come out, but other than that... SVJ meanwhile... getting that Vorpal and immediately tossing it onto his knight. Sorry, Mr. Versetti, I have a roast beef po' boy still in my stomach, and it is going to keep me yawning.
Didn't realize, but Shylesi was also giving us a look at our fun percent name on enemies, as we see some grrr wolves and some roo-roo-roos.
Yeah, there are a few options that, you know, you can bust out that do not affect the RNG of the seed. I'm actually not sure if anyone's rolling with the modern battlefield. That's one of my personal favorite, what we call fun percent options.
Yeah, it seems like the community either loves it or is not intending on using it ever with the modern battlefield. I know some people really like it. As we see a quick look of it on St. Von Jester's screen.
And Neon,
Neon as well.
Yeah, Neon is on the side of good and righteousness. I am very fond of the modern Battlefield.
Maybe I'm just too old. I'm a fan of the original.
Well, I also think that Final Fantasy II is fun, so...
You know, I actually will agree with you on that. I enjoy Final Fantasy II. I think there are some things that it could have done better, but I think it is a fun game.
Yeah. That being said, it looks like Shy is going ahead and making a beeline for Kraken, so it looks like his plan is just take the fights he can on the way to these fiends.
Yep. Trudging through an unrunnable pack of Sahags. Nobody ever likes to see that fight, but we all get it.
Yep. We have yet to find a way to stop that one from happening, and I don't know, it's part of the charm of Sea Shrine.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see a solution for that, as that encounter is linked to the pirate encounter. They share the encounter. They are the A side and B side of that fights. So, in order for that formation to be runnable, the pirates would also have to be runnable, which doesn't work so well with Bicky and his crew.
Exactly.
So Girl Drink Drunk working on their way through Earth Cave. St. Von Jester looks like just picked up their chime from the vendor.
Yeah, and I actually missed the first, when GDD was going through, see that Dragon Armor was in a free chest.
Oh, that's a nice pickup. There's the strongest absorb in the game, tied with Opal, but also provides some much-needed fire, ice, and lightning resists.
And especially with, as Ribbon pours, I am sorry, everyone. I'm trying to stop, but it's just not helping. But yeah, especially without the ribbons being anywhere, being able to slap a Pro Ring and Aegis and Dragon Armor onto your fighter is going to be crucial to potentially surviving Topher.
Neon Gray has made it all the way down to the carry floor and is going to give us a look at that red D chest, which in this case is not going to be a red D guarding it most likely, but we will see what it has in store for us.
Okay, so that Phantom was guarding a copper bracelet. So I feel rather comfortable in the decision I would have made to just go, you know what? I don't care what's in that chest. We're leaving.
Pretty much. And Girl Drink Drunk lights their Earth Orb. Off screen, it looks like Tyrannex has decided to dive in.
You cut out there, Shadow.
Oh, sorry, I was saying that Tyrannex off screen has decided to dive into Mirage Tower, and Black Knight managed to find an eye tile in the Earth 4 top chests, as well as the slime tile that has 3 to 6 slimes.
Oh, that is some delicious experience right there. Yeah, we're getting an update that right now it looks like GDD, Shy, and Edgeworth are only runners with 2 orbs lit. But Neon's probably at least going to get their first orb here in a minute. You know what? I'm just going to give up on trying not to yawn. I am just going to have to keep apologizing.
Off screen, it looks like Adamant was located in Mirage 2 in the less than greater than chests.
Unfortunately, that's not going to lead to an Excalibur. Okay, it could lead to an Excalibur, but the chances are fairly low. And Shy gets the brack on the crack. And
Indeed. So Shy is going to get their... assuming they manage to buy these lobsters.
And as we all know, lobsters are the worst. The absolute worst. Lobsters can go die in a fire.
Gets the nuke off, the lobsters go down, and now... Well, now we're going to heal up, but then we're going to light our orb.
Alright. So Shy just a Tiamat fight away from being able to kick in the door to Temple of Fiends Revisited. That being said, there could still be a lot of trouble in store for Shy. He does not have that ribbon. In fact, I don't think really anyone has that ribbon.
Looks like Lord Fizzlebeef off-screen also has 2 orbs lit. I'm not sure if they're on their way into Sea Shrine or on their way out of Sea Shrine now. So pretty tight race altogether.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. GDD is very quickly going to clear out Carry and be on his way to the Mirage Tower as well. You know, when I don't have the mic pushed down, I don't yawn. It's literally when I'm in the middle of a sentence is when my body's like, all right, time to bust out another yawn.
Get yourself some coffee, man. Pull it together.
A, I'm not a coffee drinker, but B, and miss a second of this hot action? Come on. Come on.
Fair enough.
And we did have a ship find, so there's that.
Where was the ship located? I missed that.
I believe it was in Mirage.
Ah, okay. St. Von Jester finally lighting their first orb, working on catching up to our other runners. Girl Drink Drunk about to light their third orb, fighting Carrie. I imagine is not long for this world. 7 hits for 17. Poor Carrie.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't get to the volcano until you already have dragon armor and an Aegis shield equipped.
True enough, that'll do it.
Alright, so it looks like SVJ is going to go ahead and make a quick visit to the Dwarf Cave. I don't think that he picked up Adamant yet, because I don't think he's been to the dungeon where the Adamant is, so this is just for, Keylock.
Girl Drink Drunk taking this opportunity while they're in the area to stop off and get a couple of pro rings.
Alright, Adamant is in the greater than less than. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, presumably Shy is still looking for that ribbon. He missed the one in Volcano that Neon picked up.
Right. So Neon doing some shopping. SVJ heading out. Girl Drink Drunk gonna join in on the Mirage action as he's working on his 4th orb.
Yeah, and GDD, I imagine, will probably check this floor and maybe greater than less than. He might skip out a greater than less than and just grab Sky 1 and 3.
Maybe. We'll see.
Now,
The thing I like
GDD's
about the
been a
greater
lot...
than-
Go ahead.
The thing I like about the less than greater than is it's 10 chests that are pretty quick to check.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of extra steps that you then have to trace back.
That's fair.
And GDD has not been as thorough, from what I can see, as Shy's been. So GDD may be looking at it and going, it's not worth, those 10 chests are not worth the time investment, and I can dip Sky where I normally couldn't.
Yep, and Shylazia finds the crystal in Sky 1 in the right room. Shy's got to be feeling really good about his extra EXP and gold gains at this point.
I mean, possibly he may still be concerned. If we're right and he's looking for a ribbon, he may be, you know, worried that even with all these extra levels, the lack of ribbon's going to come back to bite him.
Yeah, that's very true. I feel like you always want to have at least one ribbon to feel safe-ish going into Topher.
Yeah, well, with one ribbon, you can protect your life caster, or if you don't have a life caster for some reason, you can at least protect, say, your main damage dealer, or your fast caster, or someone. And we have someone in chat spoiling things for everyone. Spoilers. For the sake of the VOD, we're not going to say what Will Cleosis just told everyone, ruining the suspense and the tension. Yeah, and he's going to find it here in a second, so there was no need to burst out the spoilers. There we go. Hey! So yeah, there's a ribbon to be found here on Sky 3.
Yeah, and I think now if I was in Shadley's shoes, I definitely would be making a beeline. Still probably check the 4 chests on Sky 3 left, just because they're so close to the next floor anyway.
And I was wrong in my prediction. GDD is digging out greater than less than. And Shy is in fact going to skip those 4 greed chests. He is officially in go mode.
Yep, decides it's time, gonna kick it into high gear and move on.
In the meantime, question chat. How is Edgeworth in New Player Showcase anyway? This week, the new players opted in survey form to allow more experienced runners to participate in the race itself, even if they were not scheduled to be featured. Unfortunately, one of our new players being showcased had to drop out of the race to attend to work. So Shylazia, who is definitely not a new player, was brought in simply because he had already agreed to be featured. So, there you go.
Alright, so Girl Drink Drunk making their way up. Mirage finally going to get into Sky Castle. Hey, and we found our Agama tile. It was replacing the Blue D today.
Yeah, I feel kind of silly that we missed that earlier. And the fairy had a tent.
So all that work that St. Von Jester did to rescue that fairy from the fiery volcano, set it free, and go talk to her, just gets a tent.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a tiny fairy appreciates St. Von Chester's kindness.
Yeah, and Gray has made their way through Sea Shrine and is just about to take on Kraken 1.
And GDD continuing to dig out this Sky Palace. Checking some of the chests that Shy did not bother to check.
Unfortunately, a cabin is their only reward from the South Room.
Yeah, but we do have a few chests on the left side. Wouldn't it be crazy if there was a second ribbon over here?
That'd be very fortunate for GDD. Just a bunch of cash and some iron armor.
Yeah, I was also waiting to see if something crazy happened. All right. So Fuchsia is asking for a quick recap on where progression items were. So, you want to take this one?
Sure. So the king had the canoe, the princess had the tail. We went over to the pirates and they had the key. We found out that the floater was key locked in Corneria. The sages handed over the rod. Sarda gave us the cube. The robot in the waterfall gave us the loot. The vendor item was located in Elfland, which was the chime. And Castle Ordeals had the oxyale. And while not incentive items and not yielding incentive items, we have found some fetch quest turn-ins. We found the Crystal in Sky 1. We found the Herb in Earth 4. The Mirage in, the Adamant in Mirage 2. The Bottle in Volcano. The Ship in Mirage 1. And the Ruby in Sky 3.
Speaking of Sky Cave, though, sorry. Shy has lit all 4 orbs.
Yep, so 4th orb lit, Tiamat down, gonna jump into Topher. We never did manage to find the crown, so the kindly old king in the northwest is going to remain sad and uncrowned. The slab is also at large, and the canal was also at large.
Why crazier is the kindly old king already wearing a crown?
You know, he sure looks like it on his sprite.
Huh.
Shylazia doing some quick shopping, stocking up some spells for the knight and the ninja.
Yeah,
and also checking more chests in Sky 2. This is a room you don't see runners check very frequently.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very fast, but GDD really wants some of that equipment. Oh, hey, there's the TNT.
Indeed.
And Neon, after dealing with Kraken, I believe, has gone ahead and gone Tiamat hunting. So, going for a more traditional route of saving Earth Cave for last, because no one wants to deal with Earth Cave. It's slow and boring. Will Cleosis is updating us, though, that Tarnin is our second runner in this race to have all 4 orbs lit.
Boy, between Mirage and Sky, we had 5 loose fetch quest turn-in items. So, a total of 25% EXP and gold to be had if you really take the time to dig Mirage and Sky.
Downside, just dug Mirage and Sky. But we don't know what Topher's going to look like, so it may wind up paying off in the end.
And Tarnin is our first runner in the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Well, with the stream delay, probably they got in at about the same time, truth be told.
Fair enough.
So, either way, this is going to be interesting. So yeah, those unrunnable frost dragons in Topher. Remember those? They're back in Pog form.
And they're still a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a bit tricky trying to compare runner times just because streams are going to have different amounts of delay. So, either way. So it is the Mage Fighter encounter group that's unrunnable.
Good hit. 3 hits for 190 from the katana. Swings, what is that, the Vorpal Shylazia is wielding, it looks like? Finish off the job?
Probably. As far as I know, he just has Vorpal and Katana for melee damage dealing capability. So
it
would make
tracker,
sense.
Mr. Versetti confirming that Shylazia's Knight is in fact using the Vorpal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Shy grabbed the defense or not, but even if he did, you're going to take the Vorpal for damage over the defense. And that is some, that was some stone poison, I believe.
Yeah, so stone poison is not a very fun thing to find when you don't have ribbons.
Yeah, fortunately, it looks like most of his party was able to not get stoned.
Yeah, being high level is going to provide some good natural magic defense. Knight has the Aegis, so at least 2 people are going to be protected from it, but stone poison is one of those rare earth/poison spells, and is not resisted by very many pieces of equipment.
Yeah, GDD is on the Bridge of Destiny, Neon Gray about to hit Sky Castle. not sure where in Sea Shrine SVJ. SVJ is almost to Kraken, so even with the runners already in Topher, there are plenty of people who are hot on their heels, and if they have even a slightly easier time in Topher, and these runners who are in here first take a wipe, this could very easily turn into a close race with a lot of people in Topher.
Yeah, and for some of the early problems that St. Von Jester was running into, making up some very good time. About to light their third orb as Neon Gray is doing the same in Sky.
Yeah, Neon Gray like GDD going ahead and just digging out all of Sky 1. But GDD does have all 4 orbs lit now, so he's going to be heading in pretty soon here.
An update off stream. Looks like Lord Fizzlebeef is also in the Temple of Fiends and has made some wonderful time, is already in the sea floor.
That is a thing. Fizzlebeef must have done some digging in the encounter table to find something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they...
Are you sure they're on that floor, or... I can't remember what the encounter tile was on Phantom.
No, Lord Fizzlebeef is engaged in Kraken 2.
Wow. Well, I guess Carry 2 doesn't have too much scary going on. Spoilers. Shy, meanwhile, is about to find out what Carry 2 has.
Gonna go with an offensive strategy. Well, part offense, part defense, throwing up nukes from all the black casters, and the knight is going to wall itself.
Yeah, I assume that Shy has his ribbon on that knight.
Well, I would think that the ribbon is probably going to be on the red mage. Otherwise, why would he be walling the knight? Plus, the red mage is going to have more charges of full life spell. Girl Drink Drunk has joined the pack, entering into Topher, the 1 hour, 2 minute mark. I looked away for a little bit, and Lord Fizzlebeef is on a tear. It is with Tiamat 2 now.
This is going to be interesting.
Also in the water floor.
Shy about to engage Kraken 2. GDD probably about 20 seconds, probably about 3 minutes behind.
Looks like Edgeworth and Tyrannix have also joined the group in the Topher dive.
So meanwhile, we've got SVJ heading into the Mirage Tower. Neon Gray is continuing their climb up the Sky Castle. I think they, like GDD, went ahead and dug out Sky 2.
Shylazia throwing out some lit 3s on these waters. Ice 3 is actually the weakness for waters. Could be doing a little bit more damage with that Ice 3 spell.
Did we even find Ice 3? Yeah, we did.
It was level 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Shy may be wanting to conserve those Ice 3 shots, though. Or may have just forgotten. It's either or.
Potentially. Those waters are custom built for wasting time today. Throwing out lots of sleeps.
Yeah. Although they are runnable, as chat's pointing out.
It looks like Edgeworth and Tarnin have made their way to Kraken 2. Not sure what happened, but it looks like Tarnin just reset. So must have taken a wipe.
Yeah, meanwhile, GDD is making his way toward Earth Floor. Shy's about to engage with Kraken 2. So, since we last heard Kraken 2 was Tarnin's location, that may bode ill or well. SVJ has entered the Sky Castle. I believe went ahead and took care of Kraken 1, so This will be his fourth orb. Neon's still going to need to go deal with Lich before they can get into Topher, but... Oh no,
Ooh.
they have to deal with Lich.
Was that nuke or nuclear from Kraken? That was some big hits.
I was going to say, that probably was nuclear. I think Nuke may have at least taken one of those mages out.
No surprise, Kraken Honda hitting for big damage. And Lord Fizzlebeef off screen is pulling Chaos as we speak.
Alright, so it was Nuke, and it just that Shy's party survived the damage. And there's a Bane from Kraken.
Manages to get through. Both life casters alive, gonna bring back the party. Get everybody back in good shape for the fights ahead.
Yeah, the nice thing about life being available like that is it at least means that one of the mages gets to live in the back row instead of being a meat shield for Kraken.
And Future Fantasy with the memes. Gotta be Bane!
I think that's supposed to be pronounced, "That's gotta be Bane! That's gotta be Bane!"
Oh, is it? Okay.
Don't cross the memes, folks.
Dwayne Johnson. All right. First look on screen for Tiamat 2.
Now, this Chaos fight has got to be rude, though, because I would like to point out, no one has actually done, and as soon as I open my big fat mouth, we do have Lord Fizzlebeef dunning with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 39 seconds.
That's a great time. I have seen runs as fast as an hour 5. An hour 6 is flying on these flag sets. So, I think that is indicative of a runner that is going to cause a lot of problems in the league.
I mean, this is going to be a really intense league. Like, just looking at who all's involved, there are a lot of people who are going to cause a lot of headaches.
Yeah, I think we already have somewhere in the range of 45 runners signed up for the league, and signups have only been opened for 8.5 days at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be competitive. There's going to be a lot of people in there. It's going to be big races, and it's going to be very interesting to see how things shake out.
Yeah, Neon finding their second ribbon. I don't know if they were digging for a ribbon or for better offense than a single Vorpal sword. So we'll see what happens.
Edgeworth bringing up a close second. Duns with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Yeah. And it's actually October 1st is the scheduled date last I checked. At least that's what the website says.
Yes, that's right. October 1st is when the league is going to start.
Yeah, Monday, October 1st. In the meantime, though, GDD has made his way down to Waterfloor, and Shy is about to engage Chaos for third place. But now, the first match of the tournament is scheduled for Monday, October 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I believe that will be here on Randomania.
All right, so Shailasia taking a moment to decide how to approach this chaos is throwing up a wall on his red mage, since it looks like he moved that ribbon to his knight. Throwing up Temper. Chaos opens with Blaze. A lot of damage on that black mage. Fast gets off on the knight, so the knight's going to be doing a lot of damage very quickly. He's going to fast the ninja for that secondary offense. Some heal 3s going up, some more tempers on the knight, and going to start swinging. Thunder is a follow-up from Chaos. Big damage. Ninja down to 40 hit points. Black Wizard dies. 7 hits for 320 damage. Fast. Another 7 hits, 279 damage. Crack from Chaos. Down goes the ninjas. 2-man strats now. Heal 3. Bringing the party back up to more HP. Throwing out another preemptive heal 3. 7 hits, 237 damage.
Wilcless is pointing out in chat that Shy is wielding the Vorpal for this fight, and I would point out, what choice does he have?
Going with some Invis strats on the night. 7 hits, 533 damage. Terminated. Third place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 12 seconds. GG, Shylazia.
In the meantime, GDD has made it to Tiamat, or not Tiamat, Kraken 2, and Kraken 2 deciding that the back row needs to die. Fortunately,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, fortunately, GDD is more than capable of finishing off Kraken 2 with what he's got in store here. He does have that Vorpal on the Knight. He does have that Red Wizard there, provides some backup firepower, and down goes Kraken 2. But you were going to say...
we do have our first forfeit. Split Punch has decided he's had enough, and has decided to forfeit from the race.
Absolutely, and I believe we are going to try and drag Shy in here for a chat while we are letting things wrap up. So let's see here. Neon is heading for Earth Shrine as GDD engages Tia 2, and St. Von Jester is continuing his ascent of, I believe he is still in Sky. Now, he's back in Provoca. Did he go ahead? Yeah, he cleared out Tia 2. All right, I think SVJ may be about to hit Topher up. Because I think SVJ has all 4 of his orbs lit.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he's burning off those cabins to clear up his inventory, so I imagine that's got to be the case.
Yeah, let's go ahead and drag Shy in here.
Just me that time.
Hey, Shylazia, GG.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were in the middle of talking to Lord Fizzlebeef. I guess we'll haul him in here too, since at this point we might as well just talk to whoever shows up.
Yeah.
Also, we haven't seen him in a bit. Hey, Lord Fizzlebeef. Normally we don't drag in people who weren't on stream, but what the hey, this is a weird stream.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just I realized that Shy was finishing up a comment to you, and I figured, well, okay, I guess I need to get him in here so Shy can finish explaining. But yeah. So, thoughts on the League flags with a little bit of juice?
Yeah, I liked these flags. It was actually one of my better runs this weekend, and it's all about the game changer, and because I had some magical names, I had the willpower party.
Yeah, that was a lot of will going on. So, Shy, what were you digging for exactly?
I forgot the old man alone in the cave at some point, so I went straight back because I was missing the cube, I believe.
Alright, but you still were digging around in Sky. Were you just looking for that ribbon?
Yeah, one ribbon. I just want to make sure. I had wall on my red mage and my fighter. I just wanted to make sure I didn't wipe to Zap or Crack. And yeah.
And it's a good thing you made that plan, clearly.
Yeah, because he had Crack as well, so... And did you saw all the Breck from my fiends? Tiamat 1 got first turn Brecked, and Kraken 1 got first turn Brecked.
Yeah, well, we're gonna need to hold off on a second, because GDD is about to take on Chaos. In an effort to take 4th place and be the first of our new runners to score a dot done. So, let's turn our attention over there. So, we got GDD leading off with Fast, Invis 2. Didn't actually pick up any spells on his Knight. and going ahead and dropping a temper on him as well. So going ahead and getting that defense-wielding knight up to speed. And I think that I did see the defense sword and no Vorpal, so we may be seeing defense strats out of this knight.
Decides that 3 stacks of evasion is enough, and in the second round is going to move on to attacking.
Gets quad X out of by chaos. It is Vorpal. All right, I must just have missed it. So Vorpal sword out of GDD. I'm sure that Mr. Vercetti is going to be very pleased to see that. But regardless, continue to pile on the tempers. And oh! 3 stacks evasion was not enough. That knight is on a knee. But that's still good enough. Terminated on Chaos. GDD is our 4th place finisher with official SRL time of 1 hour, 15 seconds, and 26. 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 26 seconds. I can count.
An update off stream. Looks like Tarnin has pulled Chaos. Froster is fighting Carry 2. Tyrannex is working on the air floor of Topher.
And St. Von Jester making excellent time running through Temple of Fiends Revisited. In spite of that late floater pickup, he is already on his way to the water floor.
Yeah, St. Von Jester has done a great job turning things around. Turned a rough start into a good comeback.
Yeah, he's still got to get through the rest of Topher, but it is definitely Topher. And Tarnin is going to be our 5th place finisher with a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 26 seconds. So, hopping back a little bit, mostly to the 2 guys who are currently in the booth, although we are going to have GDD joining us here in a second. There he is now. Let's go ahead and pull him in. GDD.
GG. First time I had to join. First time I beat the game joining Team Vorpal, it seems.
Yeah, I actually didn't spot the Vorpal on your first round while you were defensing up, so I for a moment was like, I guess GDD decided to go with Defense Sword.
Oh yeah, like defense. I was going through my laundry list of things I needed to do on Chaos, and I kind of forgot evasiveness. Whoops.
Yeah, those 3 stacks of evasion probably were the difference between your knight being upright and on his back.
Yeah. Yeah,
so before we kind of hop back to the other 2 runners who we got in here, as the first new runner to finish, how did it feel having kind of the more experienced runners in the mix?
No, I always like having a yardstick to go after. I assume the more experienced players didn't pick a white wizard, which probably helped their speed a bit, but I picked the more risk-averse option. So I'm kind of glad I did, but if I would have found like the Power Bonk or like the Maz Moon, I have no idea where those items are, but I didn't, so I'm glad I went with the white wizard.
Yeah, I took a thief that I was gonna Dan, but I found level 3 nuke, so I kept him up.
Yeah, both of y'all, Fizzlebeef and Shy, went with thieves. I don't know what Edgeworth wound up going with. Maybe someone who was keeping an eye on Edge's stream can fill us in on that front. But until that happens, y'all, you were keeping pace pretty well, even with the White Mage instead of the Thieves GDD. Really, what slowed you up the most was all of those checks in Sky Castle.
Yeah, I'm still glad I did because I found my first ribbon up there. But yeah, I had a feeling that when searching, especially floor 2 of Sky, I wasn't going to get first place. But I was going to try.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shy, I know, actually did do most of the same checks you did. The only thing he skipped out on was Sky 2.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything there. Like, maybe like a worthless key item, but other than that...
Yeah, there was a ruby, so you were getting a little more XP at the end.
Yeah, well, TNT and Sky 2. Ruby was Sky 3.
Ah, you're right.
But short of that 5% boost on... we also see Tyrannix comes in 6th place, official SRL time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, 37 seconds. GG to Tyrannix.
Yeah, and at this point we do have both Neon Gray and SVJ and Topher. SVJ did take a wipe, I think, on the water floor. Probably to Kraken 2 because it's Kraken 2. And
yeah,
confirming that Edgeworth apparently took 2 fighters.
Yeah, Saint Von Jester took a wipe to damage poison from Kraken 2.
Okay.
Rude.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really lucky with my Kraken 2 fight. I had all my members surviving a nuke.
Yeah, I actually, when I saw how many of your party members were still up, I was like, did Kraken 2 use nuclear?
It was nuke, but even a black mage, so I was proud of that black mage.
No, like you said, your party had a lot of willpower going for it.
Yep.
So yeah, while you're here, folks, send SVJ your energy. It looks like he's having a bit of a hard time getting the ball rolling here in Topher. Neon, meanwhile, on their way to Lich 2, aka the Fiendry fight that still gets no respect.
Yeah, it's... Even in Topher with buff stats, Lich just doesn't do anything nasty most of the time. In fact, it's often the case that vanilla Lich is actually nastier because of turn 1 nuke.
And yeah, there goes Lich 2. So Neon on their way to dealing with Carry 2, which we also know is not going to pose too much of a threat. And SVJ is continuing to make his way toward the plate here. But yeah, so jumping back to y'all again. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Like, the nice thing about these flags is that they're fairly straightforward. Hit the incentive spots. Try to find something that actually makes sure that you will survive what you're about to deal with and kill things that are in your path. And go fight chaos.
Yeah. What I tend to do more often now is dig Earth Cave. Some reason, yeah, some people don't really want to go there until last, you know. And in some seeds I have found like a really easy ribbon, you know.
Yeah, that was actually something we were wondering during your run, Shy. Were you looking for anything in particular going in like Earth, Fire, Water, Air order, or is it just the order you wound up deciding to do?
That was just the order I decided to do because we basically had every good available spell, you know, so it doesn't really matter. And I was kinda gambling that Earth had at least one ribbon, so I wouldn't have to dig into Mirage / Sky Tower. So that was my planning.
Yeah, we were kind of speculating that maybe you were digging out the easier dungeons, hitting chests, trying to find a couple of key items to get your XP gain up for the more high-value dungeons toward the end.
That wasn't actually what I was thinking about, but yeah, it was just something, hey, I'm there, I forgot the old man, let's just clear Earth now as well. Well, we are here. So.
Makes sense. Meanwhile, while we were talking, Broadster did finish in 7th with a time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 49 seconds.
Oh, I never found out about those chimeras.
Yeah, and it looks like Saint Von Jester is becoming, unfortunately, very acquainted with them.
Oh. Yeah, Frosties were something as well.
Yeah, even just the fact that they were unrunnable and seemed to be able to take a punch was not very nice.
I believe they had like 400 HP with a lot of absorb, so you basically just had to do fire 3 or nuke.
Speaking of nuke, oh lord, that Kraken 2 on Neon. And yeah, they're just gonna have to hold
and
A and
resist the
pray.
Bane.
Yeah, and I think they are actually using defense sword strats here on Kraken.
Decides instead to go with heal 3.
If anyone found any more ribbons than one, or
there was actually one on the right side of Armory floor in Volcano. Neon, I think, may have been the only runner who found it.
The one side I skipped.
Yep.
I was like, what are the chances, you know? I'm just gonna dig into the big pile of chests.
Oh no, another nuke. The knight's down to 18 hit points.
Oh.
Just swing, Neon. Hope for the best. I guess actually the heal does help here in terms of avoiding.
Swing for the fence.
I disagree. I think the only option is to go ham swinging, because that heal 3 is not gonna do good until that nuke comes back around.
Yeah, I think they were mostly trying to brace for the Fire 3 and the Fire 2, make sure that they could at least survive that long, and oh no, there's
for 36 damage.
Just enough.
Down goes the knight.
Alright, so we are back to
I'm a little bit
SVJ
surprised
and
that we're
Neon.
on defense sword as our weapon here for Neon.
I assume that they stuck the Vorpal on one of the red mages.
Anyone found Masa?
As far as I know, no one found anything better than Vorpal and Katana.
Nice. That's the only swords you need anyway, so...
We didn't see Mazza or Power from any of the runners on stream.
Okay. Yeah, when I basically found the game change and Katana, I was like, I don't need any more swords.
Yeah, I guess they must both have been hiding in Ice Cave or Marsh Cave, because no one went to either of those.
What was inside the dwarf key locked chest? Because I skipped it.
I think maybe some Opal gear.
Opal gauntlet or helm, one of those.
Yeah, I was good.
Opal gear and buckets of cash.
Okay. Did you ever find the Aegis shield fizzle?
I never found that.
No, it was in the Earth.
Yeah, I was going to say.
On the bottom chests.
Yep.
Along with the herb.
Yep.
No, I was running Opal shield.
Look who's over here taking notes about minor things. Rolling eyes emoji.
Slow too.
But yeah, both of our on-stream runners currently just trying to fight their way through the early floors of the Temple of Fiends Revisited. We know that if they can get past Chimera Country, they're in pretty good shape for actually getting down to Kraken 2 again.
Yeah.
Off screen, we still have 2 runners fighting. Lyra SRL is working on their way through Ordeals in Sky Castle to light their second orb, and Black Knight is on Kraken 1's floor, about to light their water orb for, it looks like the 4th orb. Yes, 4th orb.
Alright.
Also, one of my main reasons is that I want to avoid Volcano early on, because somehow when I always decide to go there first, I always wipe. So that's why I be more tempting towards Earth now.
Well, with the Gargoyles we saw in Volcano, that was definitely a good move.
Oh, what did they have?
Shadow, you were paying more attention than I was to that in particular.
The Chimeras?
No, the Gargoyles.
Oh, Gargoyles, they had frost, and if you managed to survive through the frost, they had damage poison. So trying to do those at low level were not fun.
So I actually paid off this round for me to go Earth first.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Volcano was not the play to make early, and unfortunately, Sam Von Jester learned that the hard way.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think Neon also ran into that problem. Like, they found their ribbon and then found out about that shortly thereafter.
I must have dodged the Argoyle encounters because I think I saw them once, ran from them, and didn't see them again.
Well, yeah, because you did the sensible thing. You saw Argoyles, and you didn't stick around. Because they're Argoyles, and they're always terrible.
Correct.
But I must say, I was kinda lucky on the Fiend store, because my Black Mage was casting Nuke all the time, and I got almost to max rolls on the Fiend, so...
Yeah, that definitely helps. Neon just got almost minimum roll off of their nuke rolls. Yeah, like, none of their nukes got above, whatchamacallit?
200.
Yeah, 200, thank you. I know how numbers work.
It's late, Void. Just...
It's okay, Matt.
Yeah.
Well, don't math on stream.
Yeah, you know what? Set theory counts. We're going with that. Or I guess number theory. Whatever. Anyway, Neon, in spite of those garbage nuke rolls, gets past Carry 2 and is soon going to be back on Kraken 2.
That was white shit.
Where? Oh, it was in Topher, top left chest.
Top left.
Oh.
Yeah, not Topher, Toph.
Yeah, I skipped that, because in these rounds it's just better to kill Garland.
Yeah, no, everyone who went ahead and checked the 3 chests on the left had the white shirt, basically from the outset. Neon gets more favorable rolls this time, one would argue Shailasia-esque, with the Kraken 2 nuke, and so their whole party's still standing.
That Black Wizard sprite looks like a spring that's been compressed.
Yeah, but I think she will have it now.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I do like their Black Wizard dead sprite, but yeah, they're fine. They get through Kraken 2, which, if I'm not mistaken, Tia 2, not too big a problem, so they're probably good to make it to Chaos. And SVJ is hot on their heels.
Thank you, Trenton, for the no math symbol. We'll keep that in mind.
Oh, whiz vampires with trance. Where's Poogle to complain when we need her?
Fun fact, I almost wiped to a pack of 3 whiz vamps and 2 zombie dragons after Tia 2, because naturally trance hit everyone and no one recovered for like 3 rounds.
That almost happened to me as well, but my knight had... Yeah, it's willpower all over again, because I had 4 wills in my party.
Yeah, Neon's knight manages to tough through those trances like a trooper, and they're able to get to Tia 2. Oh! SVJ forced to take another reset.
Throwing up the white shirt, throwing up the defense, getting those evasion stacks early. Gonna throw up the temper and fast. That knight's gonna be in good shape to take this fight out pretty quick, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will end quickly.
Throwing out some nukes for good measure.
Yeah, it's starting to run a little bit skinny on the nuke shots, though. But that should be more than enough to get them through the end of this fight. And to the end of the game if Chaos cooperates.
Throws out stun, and that Red Wizard is at the magical hit points where it will still work. Stun will automatically apply the stun status effect if the character has 300 HP or less and is not immune to the status effect.
Good old power word spells. Remember, folks, if you ever need to describe to someone what Final Fantasy I is like, an unlicensed D&D clone is a complete, or an unlicensed D&D product is a completely acceptable descriptor.
It's very true. A reminder to everybody, if this looks like your kind of thing, this looks like fun and something that you'd like to try out on your own or see more of, feel free to join us in our Discord, links in the chat, as well as try out the program online, www.finalfantasyrandomizer.com. It's free and available to everyone. All you need is an emulator and a copy of the Final Fantasy 1 vanilla ROM.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. We generally don't run stuff this crazy, but we can. And we do, because, as I've said earlier, you don't have to be mad to be in our community, but it helps.
Yeah, we certainly have a good deal of people that like to run sadistic flag sets. If you stay up late enough at night, you'll see some very strange shenanigans going on here in Discord.
Oh, but Neon is not able to keep everyone upright this time, but is also just planning to kill these Wiz vampires and be done with it. And they are now to chaos. As is being pointed out in chat, it looks like SVJ is opting to take a few fights here on the Phantom floor and try to get a few more levels hanging on his party to hopefully survive that nuke a bit better.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. There are some great fights, especially this 4 gas dragon fight here in Temple of Fiends Revisited that give you just a ton of experience points with this progressive EXP that we've got.
Yeah, and with that mage, 2 mages and a thief, both the M defense and the extra HP off of gaining a few levels is going to help tremendously. Let's see, Chaos bringing out Blaze. We got Fast going on over here on Neon Gray's night. So Neon just basically, they're just going to go ahead, buff up the night. Does not have Vorpal on him, so that's gonna, or her. That's gonna make things a little more interesting. But that Black Wizard goes down, is now just a hat. But we've got Nuke, and we've got Defense Sword swings, and hopefully this ends in a dead Chaos in short order.
Looks like Chaos didn't roll too high in the Absorb department, so even with that Defense Sword and not many buffs, gonna get the job done.
Yeah. We do know that Chaos has a few nasty tricks up his sleeve, but Neon's got a few tricks up their sleeve as well, so this is going to come down to just good rolls on Nuke and a few good critical hits, I feel like.
Here comes Stop.
Everyone
Another
resists.
Nuke goes out. 176 damage, terminated. Neon Gray had secured 8th place with an official SRL time 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 52 seconds. GG Neon Gray.
Yeah, get those GGs out in chat for Neon Gray. We're going to see if they want to get in here. GG, Neon.
Whew, boy. Thank you.
Very well done. Way to stick through it. You were the only runner tonight that found 2 ribbons.
Well, it wasn't what I was looking for in chests, but it helped, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. No, that was for basically a very scarce offense, in terms of what was just available. You did good.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for more, I was hoping for better, but, the seed gave me enough. I made do. It's certainly the fastest I've ever finished any of this, ever, so I'll certainly take it.
Very well done.
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever gone below 210 before, so I'm pretty damn happy with that.
Congrats on our new PB. I have to ask, as a new player, what are your thoughts on these? This very similar to the first stage of League flag set. What do you like? What do you not like about them?
It's interesting. Not having to worry about having to actually cash in on any of the fetch quests certainly helped smooth things along. It's hard for me to gauge because everybody keeps going how fast even the stage 1 flags are. I keep rolling ship TNT, so I'm up to my elbows in marsh all the time, so...
Well, that never feels good.
But otherwise, I mean, it was interesting. Very different in feel to the actual stage 1, but yeah.
So we see St. Von Jester has made their way back to Lich 2, going in for another dive. St. Von Jester made it to Temple of Fiends Revisited about the same time as you, Neon Gray. Has just unfortunately caught the bad end of a couple of wights.
Not surprised. That Kraken was not nice.
Yeah, and SVJ, I think, had some of the lowest levels out of all of our runners going in. He actually stepped out and did a little bit of grinding on the Phantom floor just to pick up a couple more levels.
Yeah, that'll do it. I know I wasn't super happy with mine either, which is another reason why I pretty much cleared out Sky. Just kind of multitasking there.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it's one of those things, SVJ actually, after visiting Provoca, kept going south. So it took him probably 20 minutes later than everyone else to actually find the floater, because he went and did Volcano, went and hit Crescent Lake, went to Elfland, finally circled all the way back around to Corneria, and finally opened that chest and found the floater.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, he did a little less digging, I think, than everyone else, because he knew he was behind.
Yeah. Like, that'll help, but on the other hand, you know, I was looking and was like, that's gotta be the floater in there. I'm turning around going back for it.
Did I see that good? Was that Dead Touch carry too?
I think that might have been Death Touch Carry 2.
Sure was
no.
Death Touch Carry 2.
Wow, that's the first time we actually managed to catch that on stream.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else saw that.
Will, what did you roll? Dead Touch carry 2?
Yeah, I saw Death Touch Carry 2 when it connected against my knight. But at least I had 3 nuke casters, so I was able to steamroll it.
All my characters went first, so I just nuked and swing with the fogball, so and she died.
Yeah, Carry 2's been blinking you miss it all night, so I guess we missed it.
So
Yeah.
St. Von Jester's made their way to the water floor. Off screen, we have Black Knight, who has finally made his way to Chaos. He's working on that final fight. Lyra looks like is still in Sky, working on lighting their second orb.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, you know, even if you came in relatively low in the rankings, you're still making good time overall. Like, even with Lyra and Black Knight still working their way through the seed, they're making pretty good time for their PBs.
Yeah. But I would what I try to do at these rounds, because it's kinda low percentage. For example, Kraken 2 doesn't really roll high HP. You can basically just try to nuke him down.
And oh man, SVJ managing to just barely survive with all 4 party members. That is a Black Wizard who had 8 HP left.
It doesn't get
After
much
that
closer
nuke.
than that.
Yeah, I'd say it gets about 7 points closer than that. But in the meantime, Black Knight does have a dot done with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 54 seconds. And considering Black Knight's apparently been a bit out of practice, that is an excellent time.
Yeah, this is a good flag set to kind of shake the dust off and get yourself back into trying to go real fast.
Oh. But SCJ is going to take another wipe.
Oh.
Alright, chat, we're going to need you to send Black Knight your energy.
St. Von Jester. St. Von Jester needs the energy.
Okay, send a little bit of energy to your commentators, but also... but send the lion's share to SVJ, alright?
Yeah, Dancor, that was a Bane wipe for St. Von Jester.
Oh crap. Did SVJ not find the ribbon in Sky either?
We see no ribbons lit up, so it looks like no.
Does he have wall with his red mage and his knight?
He
I'm
might, but he
not-
might not remember he has it. Y'all got that right out the gate.
Yeah. Because if I can get that, I won't dig for a second one. I would just go.
Yeah, but I don't even think SVJ has the first one.
Right.
Like, he is relying entirely on M defense, I think, by and large, because he didn't really dig any of the Fiend dungeons.
I think at this point, an hour and 46 minutes in, if you're already in Topher, turning around to try and look for ribbons is kind of a non-starter because it really is a needle in a haystack moment.
Yeah,
Right.
no, like, he's just going to have to punch his way through this. Yeah, he's honestly, at this point, if he does not think he can make it past Kraken 2 with what he's got, he's better off just level grinding. Like, levels will do him more good than trying to find those ribbons.
So in the brief look we got at that Red Mage spell list, I think Wall was not in that level 2 spells.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if he picked up any spells for the night.
I think he might have life, but that might be all. Yeah, he opted for Fire 3 and Warp over Wall.
That makes sense.
Ah.
Gary so far not reaching out and touching anyone. But we are going to very soon see a ooh,
Quad X, erased.
erased and terminated. All right.
Nice job, SVJ.
It's at least going to conserve, one of those live casts. And I will be surprised if we don't see SVJ bust out Quad X against Kraken 2, hoping to maybe drop him with a lucky Quad X.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what you have to hope for. Do enough damage that you think you've got him in range and try and get that Quad X off. If you can actually land it, it's basically a guaranteed 300 damage spell.
Yeah, Quad X, for those of you playing along at home and aren't familiar, is Final Fantasy's equivalent of the classic D&D spell, Power Word Kill.
That's right. Any enemy that's 300 HP or less and not immune to death magic will die. Period.
Also, any party member you have who has 300 HP or less and is immune to death magic will die. Buy those pro rings, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, so Neon, you're still here, right?
Yes, I am.
So, quick question. Was it a deliberate choice not to have the Vorpal sword on your knight at the end?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I mean, I figured, but I was hoping you would elaborate.
Like, at that point, it's just not very good.
Fair enough.
Like, you know, if it was all I had, I'd have used it, but, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, really, between that and the defense.
That's fair. Meanwhile, this time Nuke did take out the Black Wizard, but the rest of the party is still up, and it looks like SVJ is mostly going to a pure pump out as much damage as I can strategy. Except for all the healing that he's now doing.
I appreciate the efforts of trying to use the heal helm and keep the people alive. Oh, he does get the nukes off. Does get Kraken 2 down. That's got to be a breath of fresh air.
Still got a nuke alive on that ninja, too, so that's at least a good, panic button to have. I'm gonna go ahead and drink some heal potions here, though.
I would like to share some meta info about the Fogbow being good for the knight. Edgeworth did the math for it, and if you're anything below level 23, the Fogbow is better than the defense sword equipped on the knight. I just wanted to point it out.
Well, Neon, you were like level 26, weren't you?
Yeah, like, I was well above, 23, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
okay, but...
Yeah, 25, 26.
Just saying that I believe 21 and 23 are the breaking points for the game changer weapon, so...
Okay, yeah, well that is good to know, because, sometimes the seed just doesn't cough up, so hey.
Yeah.
Welcome to Final Fantasy Randomizer, folks, where I hope you remember how your statistics classes went.
Hey, math is great.
Well, Wout, I'm not the greatest guy with math neither, so we can shake hands.
Okay. Okay, I would like to point out that I'm a D&D nerd.
Quad X on Tiamat, erased!
Woo!
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine, you're fine. I am well acquainted with playing games that call for a large amount of statistical analysis. I'm just saying, other communities don't have this problem of arguing about which sword is optimal at a particular level.
It's true. You look at, for instance, Zelda 1, and the swords just do X damage. They either do 1, 2, or 4. It's very clear to see which is the best sword. There's a lot more to be considered here.
Yeah, whereas with Final Fantasy Randomizer, you sometimes have arguments that are like, well, if it's a Tuesday and you have a knight, but you have not found the power gauntlet, and you're level 22, but you also don't have a black mage who can cast Temper, then under those circumstances, clearly you cannot drink the poison that is in front of you.
Don't forget about the broom crossing your path.
If 2 trains leave Chaos's defense rating heading in opposite directions...
At what time will Cleosus remember that he has the cube?
Oh, Bill.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I feel you, Bill.
So SVJ is fighting Chaos. And we believe in him. We believe in him very hard.
Nuke for
feel ya,
366. Big damage. Going out swinging.
I mean,
I don't know.
Chaos at
Charges
least.
Fire 3 as the backup.
What are you saying, Neon?
I mean, Chaos was probably the least bad of the lot there, so...
This is very true. And we see that as St. Von Jester finishes up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 36 seconds. So get those GGs out in chat for St. Von Jester, and we'll see if we can get him in here.
GG.
GG.
Well, I'm gonna leave Discord, so thank you, Randomania, for doing the restream. Thank you guys for doing commentary and / tracking. Have a good one.
Take care, Shy.
Well, with that, we should probably get some closing thoughts. Lord Fizzlebeef, do you have anything else you'd like to say about this seed or these flags?
It's faster Swiss, and with all the stuff that comes with it, because now there's 2 optional dungeons instead of 1.
And Neon Gray, anything else you'd like to share?
No, not really. I am, overall, like I said, I'm pretty happy with how I did, though obviously there's still a lot of work to be done, but that's what practice is for.
Yeah. And now that we've got your thoughts, sorry, we do have St. Von Jester in here. Hey, SVJ, GG.
Where was a ribbon?
Right side of the armory floor in Volcano, and
Oh, really?
right-hand chests on Sky 3.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, those were the 2 that we saw.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause that was killing me. Stone poison, damage poison, Bane. Like, could not
Yeah.
get past Kraken for like 20 minutes.
yeah, no, you fought hard to make it to the end of that seed. yeah,
I was getting
was one of
pretty
those things
salty there for a while there. I was just like,
I'm gonna be honest, it didn't click in my head until you took that wipe to Kraken's Bane there toward the end that, wait a minute, SVJ knew he found the floater late.
yes,
He skipped the chests that had ribbons in them, didn't he?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting there like, my first thing is I'm going through Volcano. I'm like, I'll just get Volcano done real quick. Then I was like, I have a key. Back to Canaria. And
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy thing to forget about because, the lock chest in Canaria has not been a very common incentive chest.
yeah, and I was like, I'm just going to go for key items. I'm just going to see what I can find. And then it's like, oh, I forgot about Canaria. And I remember practice seeds were like, a floater's been in there every time. And I was like, oh, now I found a floater late. And I was like at 30 minutes with a floater. I'm just like, I'm sure everyone found it in 15. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the thing is in spite of that, you did a fantastic job catching up.
Yeah, that lack of ribbon killed me at the end there. And I was sitting there for like 40 minutes just grinding myself on Kraken. I should have leveled a little bit or grinded a little bit more. So.
Yeah.
Right up there with Fizzle until I know. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's one of those things you did pretty well, all things considered. Like the circumstances under which you dealt with Topher, you pulled it out.
Yeah, I got salty and I almost forfeited. I was like, no, I'm gonna finish. I don't care if it's 2 hours, 30 minutes. I will finish. And
Good on you for sticking through it, man.
thanks. Yeah, if I would have found a ribbon, it would have been all over a lot sooner. And like you said, I skipped those chests. I thought about going back in. I was just like, I wouldn't even know where to begin to look for one. So.
Yeah, and we actually did bring that up on stream that it would have been a needle in a haystack situation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like, where was I lucky to find one? So, but I did it. I'm happy I did it. So.
Yeah, no, you did good work, and you finished under 2 hours in.
And I used a Vorpal sword, so that's all that matters.
Of course.
Neon at least stuck to their ideals.
Just a reminder, we do have one last person that is still sticking through this. That is Lyra SRL, still fighting the good fight.
Yeah, and if you stick around, we're probably going to send you over to Lyra's stream, actually. I believe that is the plan for hosting here. By which I mean, I've been told that that is the plan as far as hosting goes. That's what we're going to do. So that being said, SVJ, you got any final thoughts?
No, just gotta stick to what you're good at. You know, you gotta just try your best every time. You know, and don't get too upset about it. You just keep going and going and going, and you'll make it.
Yeah. And Shadow Walker, you got any final thoughts?
Just a reminder to all our viewers, if you think that any of this is fun, definitely stop by the Discord, come join us, come hang out. Even if you don't feel like racing, we do a lot of runs just for fun. Links in the chat. Join us, and if you are of the mindset that you'd like to race, we have a new league coming up, and it's a great time to get involved.
Yeah, just echoing what Shadow Walker was saying. You know, you do not have to speed run this game to enjoy the randomizer. Lord knows I am one of the people who doesn't speed run it really, and obviously I'm here and I have a good time, and I'm wondering why Meridian, one of our devs, has hopped in here. Is this a special announcement, or did you just misclick Meridian? That was a mistake. Okay, then. Well,
Sorry, everybody hanging out and wanted to be part of the party. See, this is what you miss if you don't join the Discord.
So on that note, I think we're going to kick it on over to Lyra SRL. Go send Lyra all of your energy.